Hey everybody, it's Mr. Lincoln. I am here with you today to teach the newcomers in Miss Moreno's class how to do the word of the day, quote of the day assignments that you find in the Google Classroom. Not very difficult to do. It's a real easy assignment that's designed to increase your vocabulary, help you learn new words, help you have some deep thoughts, and to attempt to basically get you a grade for the week that's easy and counts a little bit towards your passing grade, hopefully. So let's go ahead and present the screen. Okay, so here you are at your class, and you're going to go ahead and jump over to the classwork section, and you should find a word of the day, quote of the day. Okay, and it's going to ask you to enter all the word of the day, quote of the day entries for the form. Make sure you're putting in for the correct class period. Check gradebook if you're unsure. This will be due before the end of the weekend, et cetera, blah, blah, blah. All right, so you're going to go here. There's 2 links here that I've included to get you to the places that you need to go in order to find the word of the day and the quote of the day. Okay, first off, though, we're going to need to get this word of the day, quote of the day. But let's see. Click on the word of the day and you'll find the word of the day link. Go back to this thing, click on the quote of the day, and you'll get a quote of the day link. The quote of the day is from brainyquote.com. You actually have to click on the quote of the day site, portion of the site, to get the list of previous and current quotes of the day. Okay, they last for a little while. They'll usually be, like, if you keep scrolling, you usually have at least about 2 weeks worth of quotes of the day. But eventually they stop updating, and so you do have to do these assignments in a somewhat timely fashion. Otherwise, you can't go back far enough to get all of the quotes in that you need to get done. Okay? So, to reiterate, on your assignment there are 2 links, one to the word of the day and one to the quote of the day. Okay? Now, let's go ahead and open up the Google form for word of the day, quote of the day for this week. All right, and here you will find that this automatically takes your email address. But in order to help me to put the right grades in the right places, you're going to have to go ahead and put in your first name and your last name here, and then select what class period you are coming from. For Moreno's people, there is a new set for BIM 7th and BIM 8th. Go ahead and say whichever one you happen to be in. Make sure you're selecting the one with Miss Moreno's name as opposed to my name, because this will help me to go to the right grade book whenever it's time to enter grades. Now say next. Okay, so you're here. First thing you're going to be doing is the word of the day. After you're done with all 5 word of the days, you'll go to next and go on to the quote of the day. But we'll do the word of the day first. Now, the words of the day are locked. They must have the correct word. This prevents you from accidentally putting in the wrong word and the wrong quote from the wrong day. So the easiest way that I find to do this is to take your screens, and if you've got a big enough monitor, you should be able to do this, but take your screens and split them side to side. Okay, this allows you to see the thing and then type the thing. Now for the word, all you need is the word. So just go ahead and type in the word. Today's word is peckish. Okay, now if you have typed in the word correctly, not putting in any extra spaces or misspelling it or anything like that, if you click down to the next thing, you can see that you need to get it exactly right. Ooh, there you go. Capital letters and everything count. Okay, now go down to the definition. And the definition is not as picky as the actual word is, but still necessary to get correct. Now, when you type in the word, this is the only part that I want to see. Okay? The first definition in the first part. Now, you can usually go up to the semicolon, or a period, and that's enough. I don't want to see the net word again. I don't want to see if it's an adjective or a noun. I don't need to see those. I don't need to know that it's a chiefly British word, and I also don't need to see that it's got its use in a sentence. I just need this part here. That is the definition. So let's type in the definition. Ill-tempered, semicolon, irritable. Now, the purpose of this exercise is to introduce you to new words and get you to remember the definitions. So the idea is that the more you see these words and the more you look at them back and forth to be looking at the definition and then you typing it in and you actually typing it in means that you would be more familiar with the word and you keep that reinforcing that word, keep seeing it over and over again, and that's what leads you to be able to remember the word. So typing it in by hand is important, and you should always do that. Okay, that makes it to where you are hearing it over and over again in your head, seeing it over and over again with your eyes, and that's how you remember these words. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. The next word is hyperbole. So we get on to Thursday's word. Okay, hyperbole. That's how you say that word, and it is. The definition says, exaggerated statements or claims not meant to be taken literally. So, exaggerated statements or claims not meant to be taken literally. All right, good times. Wednesday, ghoulish. Okay. You can press tab to go from the words to the definitions back to the words. Okay. Ghoulish's definition. You could actually just type this much and that'd be okay. Suggesting the horror of death and decay. Okay. Now, if you really wanted to, you could throw in a semicolon and say morbid or disgusting. Okay, you could also put in that, but do not put in the sentence. I don't want to see the sentence. I don't need to know it's an adjective. Just the first definition is fine. Okay. If there's two definitions, I just want to see the first definition. That's usually enough. Okay. Rapier. Rapier is Tuesday's words. Tuesday's word is rapier, and it is quick and incisive. Okay, usually quick and incisive is more towards this use in the sentence, rapier wit. Okay, you have a very quick wit, you're very sharp tongue, you can basically it's like when you give somebody an insult, it's like your comebacks are real good and real quick. Okay, a rapier is actually the name for a sword. Okay, it's one of those pokey swords. Okay, that is a rapier. But to get this exercise done, you could just say quick and incisive. You can type in the second part, but it's not really necessary. All I really want is the first definition listed. Okay, and finally, acuity. Now, with the way that this is done, it is very important that you make sure to do it the way that it has in the definition, okay? I will always put it in exactly as it is in the definition on the website to avoid confusion. Now, if you put a capital A on here, you might run into trouble. So even though all the other ones are capitalized and this one's a lowercase, you do a lowercase as well so that you don't run into trouble. Okay, so what is acuity? Sharpness or keenness of thought, vision, or hearing. Okay, the sun's glare can cause discomfort and reduces visual acuity. That basically means you can't see. Okay, like if you look at the sun, your eyes go like and now you can't see as well anymore, right? So mental acuity. They talk about mental acuity. Those are people who have very sharp minds. Even in their old age, they have mental acuity. Okay, so all of these words are very interesting and very useful. I'm going to give you guys a couple more minutes just to make sure that everybody's getting done with all of the typing, because I type faster than most students do. I'm just going to talk about how this is done. So like I said, today's word is this is usually something you can, if you really want to.
Sir, what's your classroom code? So I can get into your Google Classroom.
You're not in the Google Classroom?
No.
What?
And Julia told me that I needed to.
Okay, so you need to be in Miss Mormino's classroom.
I'm not in the. I got taken out of it.
Are you in my classroom? Whose classroom are you in for BIM?
It says I doesn't have this.
No. Who is your BIM teacher listed in your?
Miss Martina.
Okay, so then you need to be in Miss Mormino's class, and I will give you the code for that now.
So do I join that and then to do it?
Yes. Okay, those are Qs. E7Q. Blah, blah, blah.
Hey, sir.
Yes.
I have to log off to go take medicine. I got COVID.
Oh, you. God, I hope you're not at school, are you?
No, sir. I'm at home.
All right. Real quick, then, Xavier. I want you to watch this before you log off.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to go to the quotes of the day. I'm going to go here to the quote. The quote of the day website takes you directly to it. If not, you go to brainyquote.com, and then you can go and click on the quote of the day. And here you are. So this is February 12th. This is today. Here is a picture. The quote of the day is always from the picture one. Okay? All right. So like you can see that there's a bunch of other quotes of the day, but Thursday's quote of the day will be this picture one here. Not any of these, just the picture one. So Friday's quote, it is the dim haze of mystery that adds enchantment to pursuit. Okay, that is good enough right there. You can throw in the period if you want to, but be sure to correctly spell Friday's author, which is Antoine, Antoine, Rivarol. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. It's probably like French or Italian or something like that, and it's very fancy and stuff. But make sure that you correctly capitalize, put in periods and quotes and middle initials and all that good stuff. And it's, like I said, Thursday's quote, scroll past all these other quotes. Thursday's quote is the picture quote, okay? Always the picture quotes. All right, Xavier, did you get it? You got it?
Yes, sir, I got it.
All right, roll on, get that cure, buddy.
Sure, thank you. Bye.
All right, see you later. All right, let's continue. Or if you're not done with the word of the day, just go ahead and pay attention to what I just did with the quote of the day. You can continue on as you can to finish up. All right, so this next one, treasure your relationships, not your possessions. Okay, period. Press tab. Anthony J. D'Angelo. Now, be careful, once again, be careful. If you don't capitalize something correctly, if you don't put in a period in some spot, it will give you the little red angry, you didn't type in that name exactly. Okay? Don't do that. Okay? Sometimes I've seen people put a space at the beginning, and that kind of messes stuff up sometimes. I've seen people like get it wrong because they don't quite put in the right spaces or stuff like that. Okay, so make sure you are typing the picture quotes into the quote. Make sure you get the author's name exactly. So scroll down, picture quote. Okay, life lived for tomorrow will always just a day away from being realized. Period. And the author is Leo Buscaglia. The D is kind of silent in Italian names like that. Buscaglia. Okay, there's a question in the chat. Let's see what it is. Okay, so when you get done with all of these, you submit. If you don't get all of them right or you don't get all of them in, it should like not let you submit it. Okay, if you have one wrong, it won't let you submit. If you don't fill them in, it kind of lets you submit it, but I will see a spreadsheet of everybody's answers, and I will notice that yours doesn't have all of them in there, and I will take off points accordingly. Okay, I usually do it by like 50-50. If you don't get all of the if you don't get all of the stuff for the quote of the day section or the word of the day section, then you get a 50. Okay, so you have to get all of them in there, and you have to get them right. Okay, it won't let you move on unless you get all of them right, unless you just don't answer, in which you get no points at all. Okay, so always be sure to answer everything, put in all of the quotes and all of that stuff, and then I will see it on the spreadsheet that you did it, and you have no choice really most of the time but to get them correct. Now, the purpose of reading through the quote of the day is that a lot of times these guys have like inspirational messages or good thoughts for you to have, and so you are able to, you know, have a nice little thought going into the weekend, have a nice little pick-me-up, or maybe just some words of wisdom to think about to like guide your life by. I think it's important for people to listen to people who are considered wise, even from as far back in the day as like the days of ancient Rome and stuff like that. Because even people who are that, you know, long ago in the past, even as far back as that, those guys still had to lead a life, and those guys still had to deal with people. And, you know, the things that they say have stood the test of time. So it's important for you to remember things like that and to think about things like that. Okay? And so a lot of times these quotes of the day come from very famous people, very influential people, and you would be wise to understand and consider to keep going. Okay? So that's it for today. Make sure that you are getting this turned in. And goodbye and good luck.